Hi, this is Jim Seimas and
Andrew Matheson with the Santa Cruz Sentinel. We are mere hours past the opening Jamborees for the Santa Cruz Coast Athletic League, the Monterey Bay League, that took place tonight, Friday night. And we're trying to give you some gut reactions of what we saw. Now, coming in to the season, I guess, basically a lot of teams in the SECAL lost a lot of seniors. That happens every year. SoCal returned a lot. They're kind of our preseason favorite to take the league championship this year. What did you see out of SoCal tonight?
no, they look great on both sides of the ball. Against Santa Cruz and Aptos, they looked really sharp. Fabiano Hale, their MVP contender or candidate, was his normal self. He had a couple of scores, but Ryan Reyes gave some great running help out of the backfield. And, Lucas Cordoza, their quarterback, passed with great efficiency. And their defense played some smash mouth football. They look great.
Who were some of the offensive weapons, passing-wise, that Cordoza was hooking up with?
Across the board, receivers, tight ends. It's short underneath stuff. Nothing, not a lot of downfield stuff. Just 8 yards, 10-yard pops, real quick stuff.
Gotcha. Now, there was a kind of a surprise, I guess, in a way, with the SECAL Jamboree. There was a co-champion, SoCal won, and St. Francis, which had struggled last year with, I guess, youth. How'd they look tonight?
They look improved. They started off very slowly, and they had some turnovers and were sacked a couple of times. And a lot of incomplete passes in their early session against Harbor. But then they came around. Each session they looked better and better. Mm-hmm. It was noticeable. And so they did a great job. Excuse me. And Garrett Salcedo, I believe, had 2 touchdowns today. He was phenomenal. Ryan Salcedo, his older brother, was a phenom there. I believe an MVP player there a couple of years back. So he's just falling right in his brother's footsteps and the footsteps of the Salcedo family. He's a playmaker. He's really sharp.
Any other reactions, I guess, that you can recall from tonight?
Yeah, Aptos looked pretty good on both sides of the ball. A couple penalties were pretty costly. They had a big interception return, and they had a big touchdown run called back on a penalty. But they look good. And Scotts Valley looked great as well, despite losing Joe Gillette, who has decided to drop the sport to focus on baseball. Ari Wargon had a couple touchdown runs for them. He looked fabulous. Okay. So Andrew, how did the Monterey Bay League look tonight?
Yeah, it was interesting. There's 4 teams down there: Seaside, Pajaro Valley, Watsonville, and Monte Vista Christian. Seaside is the preseason favorite to win the Pacific Division this year, and they kind of backed it up tonight. They looked fairly solid, passing, running, blocking, you name it. As for the 3 local schools, the county schools, kind of entered with a lot of question marks. Mm-hmm. Watsonville, PV, and MVC, despite the record last year, had just senior-laden rosters that everyone's graduated. So it's a lot of new guys coming in, filling in those roles.
So Watsonville has a new coach, right? And what are they running? How'd they look?
New coach is John Montante. He used to coach at Marina High, and he was also an assistant under Pete Noble at Monterey High. He was also up in Washington more recently. They look fairly solid. They had some issues with consistency throughout their sessions. Mm-hmm. They run a spread attack. Quarterback is Eddie Mares, who got this long ponytail, mm-hmm. and he's difficult. He's easy to spot out there. But they look, and they run the spread, and him and Roger Contreras is the running back. Had their moments basically. They're still young though, and kind of maybe battling a little inexperience. Basically, they would have a great play and then maybe a costly penalty. So it'll be interesting to see how they develop over the course of the season.
Nice. So how about PV? How'd they look?
PV looked good. This is Joe Gregorio's second year. He used to be at St. Francis. I think at this point last year he was only 2 months on the job, mm-hmm. and they looked far and away better just with 2 months on the job. Now they have a whole off season under Gregorio. Mm-hmm. The big thing that he's been touting is kind of the line. Their line, they went through this off-season conditioning program and put on some strength, some muscle, basically. Mm-hmm. Luis Martinez and Alfonso Partida, and they got some big boys compared to last year. So what's that?
Who are we going to hear a lot of from them?
Well, you got, like I said, there's the line, but then hopefully that will open up holes for Anthony Cantrell, who's their running back and a junior. And he's also a linebacker, got good size, got good speed. He's a junior, and he's one of the top juniors. They have 17 juniors on the team, I think out of a roster of about 25. Cool. So they'll be building towards next season and this season as well.
Now, of those three South County teams, it sounds like Monte Vista may have the best chance to catch Seaside.
Yeah, I would say so. They're the defending champs, one of three, of course, from last year with Monterey and Christopher. They lost a lot. They lost a ton of skill position players from last year's team, but they also brought back some key contributors. David Hightower, the wide receiver, is about 6'3", got good size. And their quarterback, Nick Matasevich, who was the backup last year for Taylor Cohen, the record-setting quarterback, Taylor Cohen. But he filled in very nicely tonight. Really didn't skip a beat. Coach Reese was talking about that and how they have no worries at the quarterback position with Matasevich there.
That's awesome. Well, cool. We'll stay tuned for next week, and we'll keep you up to date.